Time for a cleaning. I don't know if we can see, but it gets to the point where the balls start to get a little grimy and they feel like they leave a residue when you pick them up. Also got a bunch of debris on there. The table itself has a bunch of junk that's fallen on it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's time to throw the balls in a bucket. I usually swash them around with a little bit of soap and water, rinse them off, and then dry them off. That's all I do there. The table, I like to run a vacuum on it. It's not any kind of fancy cloth. It's kind of what came with the table, being you can see all the junk in there. Alright, so I just grabbed a bucket, threw the balls in there. I'm only going to clean 1 through 9 in the queue because literally I think that's all I've used since the last time I've cleaned them. Just going to squirt a couple squirts of hand soap in there, and then I'm going to run some hot water, let them swash around, and then dry them off. Spend a little extra time on the cue ball, cleaning that off a bit. You can see most of those deep chalk marks start to come off. Alright, so what I do is I just take a vacuum like this and I vacuum the top. Some people might cringe at that, but it doesn't seem to do anything to the felt. It just takes all the chalk and dust out of it. So I'll do that real quick. Keep it moving. Okay, so I have used something like this on the rails before, but it made it so slick and kind of grimy that maybe I used way too much. But if you're gonna do that, just maybe I would do that once a year or something, just put a tiny bit on, and they're still pretty slick from that. But what I do is I just take a damp paper towel, put just a tiny bit of that foaming hand soap on it, then I'll come behind it and clean it with dry it off with a dry paper towel. Okay, next to last, I'll come back to my bucket. I got this old thick polo shirt that I'll use to just dry each one off. Just take the water back off of it. And those come out so clean and slick and smooth. I didn't realize, but when they got that grime and residue on them, that really affects the way that they play. So I'll do that every couple weeks or so. And there's the cue ball. Seeing a lot of action. I can't get everything out of it. Some of those chalk marks really dig in there, but it looks a lot better than it was. Now if we compare that to what we had at the start, it's not perfect, but a lot cleaner. And I guarantee they'll play a lot better. And the last thing I'll do is I'll cover it. I don't always do that, but especially after I clean it, I usually throw the cover on, and I'll do that for a few weeks, and then I start getting lazy, leave it off, and then a few weeks after that I clean it again, and then repeat the cycle. When I put the cover on, I like to throw it down in the same way I peel it off, so that way any dust that falls onto the cover while it's on the table doesn't fall onto the table if I just rip it off or throw it back on.